Hey guys, today I have a new guitar pedal to show you guys and demonstrate. This is the Ibanez Tubescreamer TS9. Well, actually everyone knows about the TS9, right? This is one of the most famous guitar pedals ever. No, it's a little bit more than that. So it's actually an Ibanez TS9 that's been modified, and it's called the Tamura Mod Tubescreamer. So it's called the TS9TM, and it's been modified by a company called Godlyke. So whole story behind this pedal is that Ibanez Tubescreamers, first of all, is one of the most famous guitar pedals ever, at least for overdrive circuits, right? I would say the majority of guitar overdrives on the market are based off of the Tubescreamer circuit. The original Ibanez Tubescreamer units, the ones made in the 80s and 90s, are actually not made by Ibanez, but by a company called Maxon. So Maxon is the original Japanese company that made these Tubescreamer pedals and branded it with Ibanez. So basically all the vintage Tubescreamer units, 80s, 90s, basically all the Tubescreamers up to 2002 were actually made by Maxon, not Ibanez. Nowadays all the Tubescreamers are made by Ibanez, but back then they were made by Maxon, also called Nishin Ampa, that's the actual name of the company. And after 2002, Ibanez decided to make it, actually Maxon decided to make their own pedals and brand it with their name, and Ibanez decided to keep making Tubescreamers branded with their name. So after Ibanez and Maxon kind of parted ways, Maxon needed to have a distributor in the US to distribute their own pedals, because they're not as big of a company as Ibanez. Maxon's kind of a smaller operation. So they partnered with this company, Godlyke, to actually handle the distribution of Maxon pedals in the US. And unfortunately, I'm not really sure the story behind this, but just 2 years ago, I think, Maxon and Godlyke parted ways. So Godlyke no longer handles the distribution of Maxon pedals. I'm actually not sure who handles them now, maybe it's themselves. But yeah, Godlyke no longer distributes Maxon pedals. They were used to be the main Maxon distributor for all the way until 2 years ago. But yeah, they don't distribute Maxon pedals anymore. I don't know what happened with their relationship. However, they actually kept the services of the original Tubescreamer circuit designer. His name is Susumu Tamura. So Susumu Tamura is this Japanese circuit designer who originally designed the Tubescreamer circuit all the way back in 1978 or 79. And they enlisted his help to help design a few mods for Maxon pedals, most notably the Maxon Apex 808. So the Maxon Apex 808 is this really expensive Tubescreamer pedal that came out, I think 3 years ago, retailed around $400, I think. It was one of the most expensive Tubescreamers on the market, and apparently had this really special IC chip, or op-amp chip, that made it sound really good. So this engineer, the original engineer of the Tubescreamer circuit, right, Susumu Tamura, he went through all these different IC chips, I guess, and he picked the best ones, and then he put them in the Maxon pedal, and they branded it as the Maxon Apex 808. So now that Maxon and Godlyke has parted ways, they no longer can sell the Apex 808. They no longer can sell Maxon pedals. However, they still have the services of their of the Tubescreamer circuit designer. Right, they still have Susumu Tamura. So they asked Susumu Tamura if they can make a pedal for them, because Godlyke still wants to keep making pedals, just they can't brand them with Maxon anymore. So I guess they got Susumu Tamura to make another mod, another few mods actually, not just the TS9, but they made them mod the TS808 as well, which is actually more expensive than this pedal for some reason. So they got him to mod these pedals, added a few enhancements, I guess. They're still really expensive, not as expensive as the Apex 808 though. So the Apex 808 is about $400. The Tamura Mod TS808 is $350, and this Tamura Mod TS9 is $300. I'm not sure why the TS808 and TS9 are different prices, and I'm actually not sure why the TS9 is cheaper, because it seems like the TS9 has a little bit more changes than the TS808 mod. But anyways, yeah, I got this for $300. It is one of the most expensive pedals I bought, and certainly also one of the most expensive Tubescreamers on the market, although not as expensive as some of the really boutique ones. There's the Ibanez Handwire TS808, that's like $400. There's a Vemurem Janray, which is kind of like a Tubescreamer derived pedal, that's like $500 or something, $400 or $500. And then of course the Maxon Apex 808, which they're still selling, I think, which is around $400. So yeah, not the most expensive Tubescreamer, but definitely it's up there. $300 is not cheap. But what do you get in this pedal? So according to Godlyke's site, what do you get with this mod? So the mod shifts the mid-range to a higher frequency range. I'm not exactly sure what that means because everyone knows that the Tubescreamer's signature sound is a boosted mid-range, right? It's that prominent peaked mid-range. So if they shift it to a higher frequency range, is it even still a Tubescreamer? But anyways, that's what they say. Accentuated pick attack, which I guess is more like more dynamics, additional note clarity, slightly more clean signal. Interesting. So we'll see. I'm going to test out this pedal, and they have the same IC or op-amp chip as the Maxon Apex 808, which means you get the same magic circuit. Now this is a point of contention, right? A lot of people online, including other pedal builders like Brian Wampler and Josh Scott, say that the IC chip in the Tubescreamer circuits doesn't matter because it's a soft flickering circuit that doesn't really make use of it. It's the diodes that matter more. So anyways, this magic or really like they call this like really rare, really magic IC chip. I'm not sure what it does, but it says improved tone and clarity. Anyways, that's how Maxon marketed it, and that's how Godlyke's marketing it as well. High quality, low tolerance components, and now this is another interesting thing. So yes, all the pedal builders said that the IC chip doesn't matter for Tubescreamer circuits. Okay, the diodes matter more. So the diodes actually have been changed to Vishay 19N14 diodes for alternative drive signature and improved frequency response and bypass. So they have changed out the diodes as well as the IC chips. So I think that this should actually be a little bit different, right? Because people are like, magic IC chip, doesn't matter. Okay, Maxon Apex 808, I get why you don't want to pay 400 bucks for that. But this Tamura Mod TS9, in addition to having the different IC chip, it also changed out the diodes as well. So now the diodes should affect the different tone, I think. So anyways, that was a lot of me talking about the history behind this pedal, but there is a lot of history behind it. It's not just a regular TS9, it's a Tamura Mod, and then there's a lot of history behind why this Tamura Mod exists. Anyways, this is the original box for it. Got a brand new 300 bucks, like I said, very expensive pedal. Now, I'm not recommending anyone to go out and buy something that's 300 bucks like this, because there are a lot of Tubescreamer clones on the market, a lot of which expand upon the Tubescreamer, right, for much cheaper prices. So I'm not recommending, oh, you guys should all buy the Tamura Mod or something like that. No, there's if you guys just want a different sounding Tubescreamer circuit, every company makes them for cheaper than this. I just got this because it's interesting from a historical perspective to see the original designer of the Tubescreamer circuit have his own take on this. Basically, I'm just curious about that. Okay, so you have the original. This is the original TS9 owner's manual, I believe. Yep, in Japanese and Russian, other languages as well. And then you have the specific Tamura Mod version. Okay, so here's a little history here. A lot is what I said already, but okay. Legendary engineer Suzuki Tamura has developed a new, totally awesome variation using the TS9 as a foundation. Offers a slightly different tonal palette. It's a subtle yet perceptible change. Okay, it passes a bit more clean signal, so this should be better as a clean boost compared to the original TS9. Tubescreamer circuits, like I said, are known for their mid-range peak, right? So they add a boost in mid-range usually, but this one apparently not as much. Magic IC, they literally say Magic IC. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure how much this changes things, but apparently there's a specific op-amp chip, maybe not the JRC 4558, that one's the most famous one, but probably something different. Maybe people, I mean, nowadays Ibanez makes all their reissue pedals with JRC 4558s, so I'm guessing it's something different than that, because that's the normal IC chip now. And Tubescreamer mods have been around forever, right? Like Robert Keeley, Analog Man, a lot of these guys got their start modifying, I think Josh Scott as well. These guys all got their start modifying Tubescreamer circuits, right? Tubescreamer pedals. Tubescreamer really is one of the most modded pedals of all time. So yeah, this is a whole industry of pedal builders that got their start modifying Tubescreamer pedals. So I'm wondering what the Mr. Tamura, the original designer, what his spin is, and how he actually compares. Someone should actually compare it to a Keeley mod or an Analog Man mod. I'm not, I don't have those pedals, but maybe someone should do a demonstration comparing the Tamura mod with those. So after spending 3 years, he spent 3 years testing hundreds of different 808 variants. He said this op-amp is a secret ingredient. The Magic IC further fine-tuned the TS9. How many op-amps could there be, right? 3 at most, I think. So I don't know why it took him 3 years, but okay. ELNA bipolar caps, Comet tantalum capacitors, and Koa Spear resistors. I guess this is really reliable components here. Then Vishay 1N914 diodes. So this should actually change the tonal palette a little bit, right? The diodes. And then a key resistor in the output stage was changed. So yeah, that's the different mods for this. So yeah, it's interesting that after years and years of other pedal builders making mods for the TS808 and TS9, that the original designer of the Tubescreamer circuit, Mr. Susumu Tamura, decided to offer his take on it as well. He actually already did this for Maxon. Right, this is just the Godlyke version. So someone should compare this with the Maxon Tamura mod as well. Right, he modded a few TS9s for Maxon as well. Actually, OD808s I should say, because that's Maxon's version. Yeah, so he modded a few Maxons, and now he's modifying Ibanez ones for Godlyke. All right, so here's what it looks like. Your green box, the famous green box, that is probably the most famous overdrive pedal, right? Certainly, I think it's up there with one of the most recognizable guitar pedals, and one of the greatest guitar pedals of all time is the Ibanez / Maxon TS808 or TS9. So actually, TS9 has very minimal differences with the TS808, I think, but then maybe this mod has more differences. I don't know. So yeah, you have your standard drive level tone controls that everyone knows and loves from the Tubescreamer, and then this one in particular, you can see it has this Tamura Mod Tubescreamer with Godlyke on it, and that's really the only difference you can tell from the original Ibanez TS9. It has the same, everything else is the same. Actually, ooh, this one's signed? Okay, I didn't know that actually. I actually saw from the website that these are not signed, but I guess this one is signed. Interesting. So this is Susumu Tamura signed it. That's cool. That's another thing for a collector's thing, right? Like I said, don't spend $300 on this pedal because you think it's better. I spent $300 on this pedal because of the collector's value, not necessarily because it's better or anything like that. So that's one thing to keep in mind, right? That's all right. Modification done by Susumu Tamura. Modification performed by Godlyke. Okay, so this is what you see different that's on the back. Everything else about it is pretty much the same as standard TS9. Yeah, it's just this part on the front says Tamura Mod, and then this part on the back has a signature, at least in this version. This one I have, and yeah, a few other stuff here talking about Godlyke and Tamura. Okay, and it comes with a battery already. Oh, that's cool. It's so nice of them to already give me a 9-volt. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna plug this into the signal chain and compare it with some of my other pedals. I've owned a few other TS9 or TS808 type circuits before. This is called a TS type overdrive. There's a few different overdrive types, but definitely the Tubescreamer type is one of the probably the most common type of overdrive on the market. So I used to own a Maxon OD9 Plus, which I've demonstrated before, as well as the Maxon TOD9, which is a OD9 with an extra tube gain stage on it. So I have used Tubescreamer circuits before with twists on it, basically variations on it. So it'd be interesting to hear how this twist compares to that. Yeah, there's all these like minor tweaks you can do with the Tubescreamer, circuit, right? As with other overdrive circuits, but definitely with the Tubescreamer is the one that people like try to tweak the most. So yeah, I can put in my chain and we'll see how it sounds like. So now you guys can kind of see my dirty looking pedal board. But yeah, the only effect I have on right now is like a touch of reverb, and it's not that noticeable. I have everything plugged into a Milkman 1W Plus amplifier, which is similar to like a Fender Blackface type of amp. And then I have my guitar is the GNL ASOT Special, which uses pickups that are kind of similar to like a P90. So just to give you guys an idea of my setup right now. So everything is it's clean right now. I don't have the pedal on or anything, so you guys kind of hear what it sounds like. I turned up I'm on the neck pickup. So you can kind of hear my clean sound. All right. So just for comparison, this is my Tamura Mod TS9TM right here, and then I have a Wampler Tumnus, which is kind of a Klon type circuit right here. That's considered a different overdrive circuit than the Tubescreamer. And then I have a D-type overdrive here, a Dumble type circuit, which is the G-Town Holy Grail. So I have 3 different types of overdrive circuits here, and I can compare them. So yeah, let's turn on the Tamura Mod. I'm gonna have everything set to 12 o'clock, and let's turn it on. And actually, yeah, according to Godlyke, now I don't have a normal TS9 here to compare. Actually, Godlyke posted a video themselves comparing it to a regular TS808. Apparently it's supposed to increase the upper mid-range according to them. So I think it should be more like boosting the upper mid-range or even the treble a little bit compared to a normal Tubescreamer. They say it's a little bit more clean compared to a normal Tubescreamer. It doesn't boost the mid-range as much, but the upper mid-range or the treble. So yeah, again, my clean sound. If I try to play some Stevie Ray Vaughan, it's like this. If I turn on the Tamura Mod now. So definitely, I still hear the signature Tubescreamer type sound, right? Yeah, definitely there's that signature Tubescreamer mid-range type of boost there. Except this one is supposed to boost the upper mid-range a little bit, not just the not just the mid-range. So it's interesting. I feel like there's a little bit more grit on this one actually. So yeah, that's interesting. So compared to like the other Tubescreamer type pedals I've used, compared to my previous Maxon TOD9 or the Maxon OD9 Plus, those are the ones I used before. Seems like there's a little bit more grit on tap here actually, despite the fact that it says it adds in more of a clean tone. I find that it still has a decent amount of grit to it. So okay, if I turn the drive down, right? So that was at 12. Turn drive down. So definitely, you can use this as sort of like a clean-ish boost, but I think there are better boost pedals. Like I have my Catalan Bread. This is my Epoch boost right here. So this is actually a nice, cleaner boost pedal, but this one, I don't think you would use any kind of Tubescreamer as a clean boost actually. It's even this one where it says it's a little bit more clean, you still wouldn't use it as a clean boost because it's not really clean. There's better pedals to use for that, like a Keeley Katana for example, right? Any number of clean boost pedals that are better used for clean boosts than this one. Even a MXR Timmy, for example, that would be a better clean boost pedal because MXR Timmy is actually quite transparent. Tubescreamers are not transparent pedals, so not even the Tamura Mod. So anyways, even if I turn the drive down, I can still tell it's colored. There's still a bit of light grit on it. Yeah, definitely still colored. Even if I turn drive down, if we turn the tone down a bit, or yeah, turn down. Turn level up. This is just to increase the volume. Tone turn down, but the level turned up, so turn the tone back up. Yep. So that's with the gain down low. So even with the gain down low, there's a nice usable amount of gain here, right? So I think this one actually has a decent amount of gain on tap. That's just with the volume up and gain low, right? Okay, so yeah, for light gain, yeah, I can do it. Although, yeah, I think this one has a decent amount of gain on tap, so let's turn the gain up a bit. You guys can hear how much gain it has. Neck pickup, let's try bridge pickup. Definitely, if you guys are looking for a way to boost your sound and cut through the mix, a Tubescreamer really is the best pedal to do it. Even amongst all these overdrive pedals I have, definitely cuts through. So yeah, if you increase the drive, obviously, you can see everything gets a little bit more distorted, and you can definitely get higher gain out of that. But yeah, it's interesting. So if I compare it to my other overdrive pedals, everything's set at new. So yeah, definitely a decent amount of gain on tap with the TS9 Tamura Mod. Too bad I don't have a normal TS9 to even compare that with. I wonder if it has even more gain compared to the normal Tamura Mod. But according to Godlyke, it actually doesn't have more gain than the normal TS9. It just shifts the mid-range boost out a bit. It changed out the diodes and some of the resistors, I think, got changed out. So it's a different sound from a typical Tubescreamer, but not necessarily like higher gain. Compare this to the Wampo Tumnus, which is a Klon type circuit, and compare that. Known for being a little bit more like overall cleaner, obviously transparent compared to the Tubescreamer. Like if you guys can compare that, right? So like yeah, the Klon sounds more smoother to me. There's the Tubescreamer. It definitely has disregarding the amount of volume, I think that the Tumnus actually had more volume, but the actual amount of grit, I think this one actually, the Tubescreamer has more grit on it. But the one that has the most grit is actually the G-Town Holy Grail. So I'm going to show you guys this one. Just have everything on 12 o'clock here. The D-type overdrive I have. Okay, amount of volume, I think the tumness has more at 12 o'clock, but we can adjust that to make it sound roughly equivalent. Okay, now it's about as loud as the tumness. I think the D type actually sounds a bit more smoother, but that's that's one of the things about the Dumble type overdrives, is that they have such a nice touch response, so dynamic. And then you can try that. This one has a lot of volume actually around the 12 o'clock already, the tumness. Different signature. You guys hear that difference, right? It sounds different with the tumness, and not really like Stevie Ray Vaughan, honestly. So something different. Yeah, this one definitely a little bit more transparent than a Tubescreamer or the D type, for sure. Not as transparent as like a Timmy, but definitely more transparent than Tubescreamer or the Dumble type overdrive sound. Okay, now let's try the Tamura Mod. I think I will have to raise the volume a little bit so that it's more equal to that tumness. Definitely sounds like, once I hit that riff, I already know it really sounds like the Stevie Ray Vaughan. So yeah, that's a classic Tubescreamer sound. I mean, yeah, sure, it's a little bit different than a normal Tubescreamer, but I don't think it's like a really big difference like that most people can be able to hear. Like, it's not like you're gonna play this on stage and people are gonna be like, wow, you're using a modded TS9, you're not using a normal TS9, what pedal is that, right? Nobody's gonna really notice the difference, right? When you use this on stage, people are just gonna be like, oh, okay, it's a Tubescreamer, right? It's a Tubescreamer sound, right? People aren't gonna be like, or actually, most people wouldn't care, right? Because most people aren't into overdrives or pedals or something, or guitars. But even the people who are into guitars, they're not gonna be able to tell that that's a different Tubescreamer. They're just gonna think it's a Tubescreamer, right? So yeah, nobody's gonna be like, wow, you guys, you have a modded Tubescreamer. It sounds a little bit different than a normal Tubescreamer. What is that? So yeah, guys, if you buy the Tamura Mod, just be aware, it's not gonna be like very different than a normal Tubescreamer. It's a little bit. I mean, sure, it's to me, like, yeah, it sounds a little bit more smooth, I guess. It's got a little bit of smoothness and refined clarity, I guess, in the mid-range compared to normal Tubescreamer. But yeah, it's not like a huge difference or anything. So you know, if you normally use this in a gig, people aren't gonna notice. Like, first of all, most people don't care what pedal you're using, but then the people who do care, like the guitarists and stuff, they're just gonna think it's another Tubescreamer. So yeah. Yeah, sure. There's a little bit of the upper mid-range clarity on this one. It's nice, nice and smooth and refined. But I don't hear like it's not like a totally different pedal from a Tubescreamer or something. It's not like, for example, the Klon, right? The Wampler Tumnus that's a really different sound from a Tubescreamer, or even the Cheetah Holy Grail, because these are actually like based on different type of circuits. But yeah, this is if you buy the Tamura Mod, it's mainly for a collector's thing. Like for me, that's why I bought it. It's just because it's a cool collector's item. Oh, it's signed by Susumu Tamura, the original designer of the Tubescreamer circuit, one of the most popular circuits of all time. That's legendary, right? So I buy it for the collector's thing, right? Not because I want something that's really better or noticeable, because it's not. So guys, don't buy this pedal because it's like, don't expect it to sound like much better than a normal Tubescreamer, or much different than a normal Tubescreamer. I would say you buy it if you're like me, you're a big fan of guitar pedals, and you just want something for the for the history and for the collection. And I think it's a nice conversation piece to have if you have another guitarist friend over. You can, or if you're going to a gig, and then you can talk to other guitarists about it. Hey, look, I have this really cool Tubescreamer that's been modded by the original designer. That's a cool conversation piece, cool piece for collection, but don't expect something totally different from a normal Tubescreamer. I think it has a little bit better, more noticeable upper mid-range clarity to it, but yeah, overall not too different, right? So guys, once again, I just want to hear the differences. This is the Cheetah Holy Grail overdrive. Centaur with the bumpy tumnus. Yeah, once again, if you guys want to hear the differences, this is Cheetah Holy Grail overdrive. And then the Wampler Tumnus. And then the Tamura Mod. So that was the neck pickup. Now you're going to hear the bridge pickup now. Now multi-tumnus. The Tamura Mod. so definitely to my ears, first of all, the Klon type circuit is definitely the most different out of these three. It definitely sounds like it has a bit more clean, like a bit more of a clean type of sound in it, more transparent, whereas the other two definitely have more grit. The G-Town is actually much more versatile because it has, like, this particular pedal, I mean, not all Dumbo circuits are like this, but this particular pedal I really like. It replaced my Wampler Euphoria, which tells you how versatile this one is, because the Euphoria was actually a really versatile pedal already, but this one's even more versatile, so you can get like, a lot of different types of sounds out of this one. Whereas the Tamura Mod, you're looking for Tubescreamer type sound, but with a little bit more upper mid-range clarity or bite to it, then this one is the way to go. Otherwise, it's very similar to your standard Tubescreamer type of sound. So that's it, guys. Yeah, the TS9TM Tamura Mod Tubescreamer, $300. It's really expensive pedal. I think it's probably not worth it for most people unless you're a collector like me and you care about these the historical side of pedals. Then this is an interesting piece to pick up. It's a nice conversation piece if you have a guitar gear friends. I can talk about it. But yeah, I would say for most people it's probably not worth it because it's not that different from a normal Tubescreamer. Yeah, just I would say if you want to have a Tubescreamer type of sound with like increased like upper mid-range type of bite and clarity, then this pedal is really nice for that. I actually think the G-Town Holy Grail Overdrive is more versatile though. At the same price, I also paid $300 for this one as well, but I think it's more versatile. But this is a nice conversation piece. This is a nice piece for pedal collectors because this is it's a Tubescreamer modified by the original inventor of the Tubescreamer, Susumu Tamura. So that's really cool. So from a collector standpoint, it's a really nice pedal to have. So yeah, for normal people, yeah, you can get any number of Tubescreamer clones for like 1/3 the price, right? So yeah, that's what I would say. Like Electro Harmonix East River Drive, for example, that's like 1/3 the price. Yeah, so, or Seymour Duncan 805, right? So yeah, that's why I would say for normal people, they have much better options, but really cool from a collector's historical standpoint. So that's it, guys. The Ibanez, or Godlyke actually, TS9TM Tamura Mod. It is a Tubescreamer with a slightly increased upper mid-range bite and clarity to it. So yeah, slightly different, but not very subtle difference though. That's it, guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching.